Depression and leading up to World War II. How has that affected living on the reservation?
It didn't bother me
No?
that much.
Yeah, that's good. You were 15 when you entered
Yes.
into the military, right? What was it that inspired you that you wanted to enter at such a young age?
Well, it started out with my next oldest brother was 17, and we wanted to be together throughout the war. So that's what got us started. I was 15 and he was 17, and at the school where both of us were attending, he was in part military training during the year, and we wanted to stay together so we could go in together. So then he was 17. He said, "How are you going to do it?" Well, I said, "If you don't mind," I said, "we could switch either that or change our age. You can move up to 17 to 19. I'll move from 15 to 17.
Good. So you want to serve alongside him. Were you able at any time during the war to serve with your brother?
Well, we would be together more, and there were a lot of things that both of us were interested in, almost identically. The same subjects and same sports, same field, fishing, hunting, and a lot of things that we do out on the reservation. So when his time was almost up, see, his assignment was for half a day academic and half a day some kind of a trade school. That's how he was going to school. And so for me, it didn't matter because I was in the full academic work. And when school was approaching, we asked our father, he said, well, it's up to you. If you want to do that, you can go. So there was no problem to that. When we went home, we went back to school. And the first load that went out, we would have been with the second group of all Navajos going for a code. And so in March, towards the end of March, we were all taken to Santa Fe for induction. We spent 2 days there, 1 day for the physical, next day for the academic, for placement. And both of us were accepted physically, and we were sworn in Santa Fe. Then we went back on, the only thing was that we were divided. They took the first, alphabetically, first platoon size, they filled that up first. Then what's left over, we went back to school and told us to get on the June enrollees. The first group went on ahead of us. They were 2 weeks ahead of us when we got there. We went on through. The trouble came up was when we were finishing our recruit training in San Diego. I don't remember whether you understood or whether you heard anything about the 5 Solomons? You know about the 5 Solomons?
Not really.
Okay.
Can you explain?
They went in before. They were in the Navy. And they were, the 5 Solomon brothers were on one battle, either a heavy cruiser or a battleship. They were up from the fight deck all the way down. And the youngest one was in the engine room. Young brother. 5 brothers working on the same ship, and they were the ones that wanted to stay together too. All 5 brothers. And then they had a combat with the Japanese Navy. When the problem came up, it's an all-day battle and part of the night battle on the Solomon Islands. The Japanese battleships and the cruisers. And the ship that the 5 Solomons were on got hit quite heavily. And the officer asked them to abandon ship. Everybody was going over. And here comes the 5, instead of the 5 brothers, only 4 got up to the flight deck. And then they looked at each other and they missed one brother. He was down in the engine room. So without a second thought, they all 4 brothers took off down the stairway. And while they were going down, that part of the ship got hit. And all 5 brothers, including the one in the engine room, they passed on. And the next day, my brother and I were waiting in San Diego, ready to go on to advanced training. And they told us we couldn't stay together because Congress changed their plan. No more brothers serving together, they said. With the 5 brothers, that ended the 5 Solomon and being a brother serving together. So he went on. We were separated. He went on into artillery, and I went on with the code talker school. That's where we were separated. We couldn't stay together.
So in code talking school, was it hard to learn the new code that you would use?
Well, I knew the Navajo language, and all that was, I remember which one to change to and which matched up. That's all I had to do.
Pretty easy.
Yeah, that wasn't hard. So I had the Navajo, and all I had to do was switch to Navajo and then fit it in with the English language.
During the war, was there one experience that you had where you felt like your life was in danger and you thought maybe this was it when you might pass on?
Well, in combat, you just go by chance. Sometimes a little closer, sometimes not as close. You estimate this, you even fluctuate yourself with the sound of the bullets. Sometimes the bombs are coming, you know what sounds are. Well, it's falling, where it's falling, if there's any changes. The same with the artillery. So when the artillery firing, the sound barriers, it tells you whether it's coming closer or it's going to the south. So then you adjust yourself according to that, how flexible you are to switch from the ground to the next foxhole or out in the open.
So, what, in your, how you feel, what battle was the biggest victory for you guys? And why?
Which battles? I don't know if you can say which was a little different, a little harder, but just about every one. Sometimes you get hit almost along the side, but you can feel it. Sometimes your loose pants get shot through. And sometimes, like the one man right next to me got hit in here. I don't know how it got into the helmet, but it came into the helmet, and then it went right down through the back of it, cut part of his hair, and tore and cut his dog tags, and went out. Yes, and then sometime, like on Saipan, I heard a 45 coming. That was the stubby shells. The shells from the stubby ammo. I could hear that it was coming, and I dove into a pillbox. It's about almost about from here to there. It's enough space. There were some guys in there. So I just went down and it came out across right above me and hit in the corner. And that thing didn't go off. It just spun around like this and threw out a lot of dirt. And it just died right there. If that thing went off, there would have been a hit.
Yeah.
All of us that were in there.
Scary, huh?
Yeah. And one of my buddy, he was backing out, saw an enemy coming up at night, evening, with love. See, they threw up a lot of flares when they're charging. They threw up flares. They could lighten ahead of them, and they charge. And he saw the enemy coming up. He was standing right there, a little ways from me. And I guess there was a telephone line across there. He didn't see that, backing out. But he caught on to the bottom of his heel. And he fell. They saw that enemy coming. And all he got hit was a shot through the leg. It didn't hit him, but it went through his pants. That's how close he got. He just fell backward, and that saved his life. There's that little wire.
Lucky.
Yeah. So things do happen like that. That, in a way, it tells you that the holy people are looking at you.
It's definitely reassuring, huh?
Yeah.
That's good. It says that all the Navajo code talkers had bodyguards. How much did they actually protect you guys throughout the war, or you personally?
Well, that is Hollywood. They put it through they were making the wind talker. They said they told each other a lot of things about code talker and the Japanese to make the story interesting, I guess. But some of the things they did, it's a trickery. Like they couldn't find a telephone in the film. What have we do with the telephone, they said. What do we do with the portable radio? I don't know why they did that. They couldn't find either the telephone or the radio, portable radio. So they came up with a story. Let us just steal a Japanese phone. If we can't find a phone, let's steal a Japanese radio. And we'll have one or two of the Marines go after that and steal that. At the same time to get rid of some Japanese. See, they got away with that.
Little Hollywood.
Yeah, that's to make the code talkers were protected people. See, that would have really been something to have a follower if there was a protective for me. Because I was here. Whenever those songs came, I would adjust myself according to the conditions ahead of me or in front of me.
Did you ever come close to being a POW in anywhere?
Never did.
Never?
Because I was in a position where there were a lot of Marines all around, scattered out. Even at night, we had circles. That's the only time we had protectives.
Okay.
There were about 10 circles to get to us.
Okay.
There were men out there with foxholes like this, alternating at every places. See, you could walk through here, but then next there's a foxhole ahead of you. There's a foxhole here, alternating. And if you know that, then you can walk through. But if you don't know it, you get into one of the foxholes, get shot.
Yeah, pretty good protection then. That's good. So for you, what does it mean to be a Navajo code talker?
Excuse me?
What does it mean for you to be a Navajo code talker that served in World War II, that helped the U.S. win the war in the Pacific?
Well, it's something that was made so the enemy could never figure it out. Even our own people could not figure that out.
Yeah.
See, the real meaning of that code was the future.
Yeah.
It was not a simple one. You had to figure your way along the enemy line, along the nature life. And yeah, that's how it was put together.
So how does that make you feel, being one of the few people that could do that throughout the war?
Well, it's what I follow. It's by the spiritual way and a natural enemy life put together. It's not normal. It's an enemy life, animal life, and a spiritual life put together.
How do you think serving in World War II has shaped you as a person, as a human, since then?
Excuse me?
How do you think serving in World War II has shaped you personally, like shaped your life since then?
Well, it really sets a human being that we're not completely isolated from the spiritual life. Because a lot of things that we do, the things that we eat, keeps us with nature. And we can't get away from that, no matter how much machinery we understand. It makes us, let's say, it makes us stronger human than we without that. We understand, we flow with nature. We enjoy Mother Nature. We enjoy that kind of a life. It makes us stable.
Yeah. So did you use this during the war?
Yes.
This.
And like I could take the cold water, wash myself with it. I can take the heat, sweat.
Very nice. Well, thank you. That's.
And then I can also say thank you for people who share my experience. Even the animals. Some animals will come to me without knowing.
Pretty crazy.
And then I talk to the animal and quiet down, lay down.
Very cool. Thanks. We appreciate your time.
Yeah,
Opportunity to interview.
yeah, and it is something that brought us closer to our spiritual world.
The war did, or what brought you closer to the spirit?
What we went through.
What you went through during the war. Very cool.
Sometimes even the wind changes. It's very, very unusual. Sometimes, like at home, a river goes through the town. On one side, a community lives. On the other side, also a community lives. But they're a little different from one another. And you know what? Sometimes it'll have hail storm on one side of the river, or one side of town, and none on the other side. Be nice and dry. And you call, and the Navajos call that gallop. And people are wondering, why do they call it gallop? So this comes to my mind because there's a bridge from one side to the other side. because the water that river flows through divides the two groups of people. There's a little variations in their beliefs. One side is quite noisy, the other sides are quite quiet.
What do you think makes that?
And they've been trying to put the two together because the expense to maintain a sinner for one elders, another sinner for the other elders.
Thank you, Elder. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Opportunity
That's
to
how
be-
close the community is.
Yeah.
They're trying to put the schools together to make it one, but it's never happened since I can remember.
Do you think that's kind of symbolic of, like, fighting another man, you know, what you're talking about in a war, of what you felt that you were, you know, fighting another human being, but they were Japanese, but you're still both human. Is that what you're referring to? Okay.
The Japanese is gradually accepting our way of life. See, they believe that a military man cannot become a non-violent person. He has to go by that system. The great, what they call him, the great landlord or lord of men, warriors. That was their belief. You cannot be a normal, everyday human. That's how they used to live. But now, I think they have penetrated some of our system. That no matter a warrior, you're still a human.
Well, thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate
You're
it.
welcome. Thank you. Have a good day and learn all you can.
Yeah.